Every Friday from 3:05 to 4 on 14 WILI and 95.3 FM. It's the Friday Sports Scene with Keith and Koivisto. Talking local sports every Friday. Getting you ready for the weekend and what lies ahead. High school sports, UConn, ECSU, and more. The Friday Sports Scene with Keith and Koivisto is brought to you by your local Dunkin' stores. Route 32 South Windham, 1015 Main Street, Willimantic, 1575 West Main Street, and 407 Jackson Street. The Friday Sports Scene. Now, here's Keith C. Rice and Jan Koivisto.
Here we go. Whoa, hey. Levels. Oh, sorry, man. I just heard myself almost blow up my headphones. I should back off. A little rusty. You go away for a week. Doesn't even feel like I was on vacation because I haven't slept this week. Welcome back, Keith. Hey, you're in for Wayne, and you got to do all the other stuff. So it's been. I apologize. I always look like a zombie. What am I talking about? It's good to be back. Keith C. Rice, joined by the coach Jan Koivisto, Nick Erlinson. You guys were fabulous last week. Thank you so much for holding down the fort.
It was fun. But I'm glad you're back doing the reads and stuff. Nick stepped it up quite a bit, I thought.
Thank you. Somebody had to fill it in, so I tried.
So you got your Ginobili Spurs jersey. I was getting ready for Spurs
right.
T-Wolves tonight. Last week I heard you had I saw some of the video there. You had the Pistons jersey on, right?
Yes, Chauncey Billups.
NBA playoffs.
I thought it was Isaiah.
No,
I thought it was Isaiah.
Yeah, I had Chauncey. I have an
Chauncey?
Isaiah at home. I could bust that out if I need to. But
Where's Chauncey Billups these days? Wasn't he coaching some?
Yeah, then he got busted for gambling.
He got busted. He was part of the gambling scandal. That's
Yeah.
right. All right, here we go. May 15th edition of the Dunkin' Friday Sports Scene. Keith C. Rice, Nick Erlinson, Jan Koivisto. We got 3 guests. One will be kind of brief, but will be. It's about a game going on at Dodge Stadium that Nick's son's going to be participating in. June 2nd. It's a senior league all-star game. It's the Willimantic Elks against the Columbia Lebanon team, right?
Yeah, it's just a regular exhibition game, but it's a special type of game, like the setting and everything. But we'll talk about that a little bit more later.
Melanie Rivera, who will be on my other show, Hometown Threads, in a couple weeks, with Kaylin, talk a little about the Women's Softball League. That'll be another discussion coming up. But we also got Coach Stanizzi, who's never been on the show yet. Of course, the head coach of the Coventry baseball team, 13-1. Another Coventry team that just continues to roll. The Coventry softball team is 15-1. I'll get to that in some of my rundown. Then later in the show, we're going to try and get to the bottom. I don't even know if our guest can get to the bottom either. What's going on with the struggling Red Sox who just forgot how to hit yet again. Christian Arcand from WEEI and Red Sox Radio Network, pre and post, just like we had Joe Weil on a few weeks ago. I think Joe is filling in for Christian because that's usually Christian's gig. During weeknights, I should say, weeknight games. Christian Arcand holds that down. So thank you, Matt. So I better get right to the rundown because we got to call Coach Stanizzi in just a few. We just found out their game got called. Coventry was supposed to play at Summers, so maybe down that way it could be raining. But let's get right to the rundown, and then we'll give Coach Stanizzi a call. As mentioned, Coventry baseball 13-1. And Coach Stanizzi, nice to join us in a few here. We'll talk Coventry baseball, what a year they've had so far. And their game at Summers called today, I'm assuming due to rain. We'll find out in a few. Coventry softball coach under Jeff LaHouse, of course, a friend of the show. They continue to roll 15-1, including a 14-0 win the other day over Windsor Locks East Granby. Not too much as far as the other high school teams go. I think Coventry is the only high school team really in the thick of it right now.
Lyman baseball 12-5. Lyman softball 12-5.
Sorry, I'm a little out of the loop there. So Lyman baseball, they're headed to the
Lyman softball 12-5. I'm sorry, baseball is about 500. So I think 500 for them. First year without Coach Gomez is good. The Coventry girls softball plays Hale Ray today, and that's a humongous game. 2 of the top teams in Class S.
We'll keep an eye on that.
So they start at 4, so we'll be ending. But that should be a heck of a game and probably a state semi, maybe even a state final preview.
Okay. Even when we're off the air, we'll definitely we'll be checking that score later tonight or tomorrow. Thank you, Jan. Coventry and Hale Ray in softball. And maybe we'll have to, who knows, maybe we'll get Coach LaHouse on again down the road. And good job with Lyman. We'll keep an eye on them as well. UConn baseball, hey, first place in the Big East. Beat Villanova yesterday 6-5. They'll play Game 2 of that series in Stores at 6:05 tonight. UConn softball, the Big East champion UConn softball team down in Texas, taking on top-seeded Texas A&M in the opening round of the NCAA tournament right there in A&M's backyard in College Station. Red Sox. Doesn't get any easier. Taking on the best team in baseball tonight, the 30-14 Atlanta Braves. And that'll be, thank you, Matt, 6:15 on WILI, 7:15 first pitch. We'll get to J-Matt Rupar in a second. He's running around. No more interns, by the way. Congrats to ECSU graduating this weekend. So that's why we're a little, there's no more interns at this point. 6:15, Red Sox and Braves tonight on WILI. Connolly early gets a start for the Sox. Yanks and Mets kick off a Subway Series in Queens tonight. Schlittler against Holmes in that one, the former Yankee Clay Holmes. NBA playoffs, couple of game sixes. Cavs leading 3-2 can put away the top-seeded Pistons tonight in Cleveland. And then Minnesota hosts San Antonio. Spurs up 3-2 there as OKC and the Knicks await the winners. How about the Thunder? Haven't lost a game in the postseason yet. They are just unbelievable. And I love how they swept away the Lakers. Will LeBron be coming back? Will it be with the Lakers? Anybody?
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yes.
Yeah, I think when we had on Dion the first time he talked about a guy like LeBron wants his retirement tour, and I think he's dead.
Yeah,
on
he's
with
that type of guy,
and he's still good. I mean, he's not great anymore, but he's still very good.
Playing at a high level, you can no doubt about it. LeBron fan or not, you can't deny that.
No.
Stanley Cup playoffs, Montreal leads Buffalo 3-2. Game 6 tomorrow in Montreal. The Carolina Whaler Canes await the winner there in the East Final. It seems like Carolina, like the Knicks, have been off forever. Vegas will meet Colorado in the Western Final in hockey. PGA Golf Championship just outside Philly going on this weekend. And then we got our friends at Duncan. And you can't...
Went to voicemail twice.
Okay, well, Matt's still trying to Coach Stanizzi. Thank you, Matt. And we're going to find out what's coming up on Homegrown once Matt gets a breather there. He's running around with his head cut off. Big thanks to our friends at our local Dunkin' stores. Route 32 South Wyndham, 407 Jackson Street, 1015 Main Street, 1575 West Main Street. They got the cloud lattes. Ooh, this marshmallow cold foam. We have to try that. I'm doing the Dunkin' latte today, but that looks. I have to get that this weekend. The marshmallow cold foam. Limeades, Dunkin' refreshers, which Nick always. That's not a refresher today. What is that?
No, today I have the Oreo Cloud Latte, which is that one you were just looking at.
Oh, okay. Featuring marshmallow cold foam. So you're drinking the Oreo Cloud Latte. That looks delicious. Oh
Yeah, it's really good.
Very good. And, of course, the $6 meal deal. They got so many options at Dunkin'. I don't even have to ask Jam what he's drinking because we know it's the ice black.
It is the ice today.
So, but we're all drinking Dunkin'. It's all that matters. So the Friday sports scene runs on Dunkin'. J-Matt Rupar working his tail off over there. Yeah,
I tell him 4 times this will be the last one I got.
Right. Well, he knows where. Let me check my phone.
Check your checks.
All right. Yeah, he said he was waiting because his game just got called. But all right. Well, so we're gonna ask you what's coming up on Homegrown. This guy. This is why he's so amazing.
Yeah.
J-Matt Rupar. He's unbelievable.
Hardest working man in radio. Well, you win him. and Wayno probably too.
Can't forget Wayno.
I enjoyed a nice weekend in California.
All right, let's see what I got on here today. My friends from high school, they were in a band called Ordinary Heroes. They're like a rap rock band. All the Pretty Horses, they're like an acoustic, like soft rock. This band called Zoo Front from New Haven.
Look, he's even got like a schedule. This guy is not only the producer of all these shows on WILI, he puts the commercial logs together, and he has time to do Homegrown every week. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What was coming up?
You're good. Last one I'll tell you about is Ramblin' Ray will be doing a cover of The Wonder Review, originally written by Baker Knight, but I think Elvis made that one famous.
And if anybody who's listening right now maybe you or you know somebody who does music in Connecticut, right, Matt? It's all Connecticut-based music.
Yes, sir.
They can reach out to you by emailing you matt.rupar. That's RUPAR @gmail.com.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, well, I guess we'll. I don't know if we're gonna have time for Coach Stanizzi now. We'll get him on eventually.
One more time.
Try one more time because then if we have to have him on for 5 minutes, we got to get to Melanie, and we got a jam-packed show today.
Yeah, there's always a lot.
So while we're waiting for Coach Stanizzi, let's go back to LeBron for a second. I agree. He's not coming back because he wants that farewell tour.
He is coming back, you mean?
Yeah, I'm sorry, he is coming back. And, I think he's going to be with the Lakers. Could he go to Golden State, join Steph? There was a wild rumor that he could join a big three and the Celtics remove Jaylen Brown or send him packing because that's a whole other story. Jaylen Brown, by the way.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Ever since he got eliminated, one thing that really ticked me off, and I like Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Hours after eliminated, he's going on there talking about the Embiid flopping, and then saying, this really ticked me off. This was my most favorite season playing basketball. You just won an NBA title in 2024. How dare you?
And he was
that?
MVP.
And he was the MVP in the conference finals
and the finals.
And you're telling me 2025-26 was your favorite year playing basketball?
Yeah, we talked about it with Dion last week.
That's
and
ridiculous.
It's just, I get that he had fun during the regular season, but that just was poor choice of words, poor timing.
You know what it is? It's him saying he wants to be the man over Tatum. Yeah. That's the way I look at it.
That's why he might end up leaving somewhere where he can be the man. But then he's not going to – I don't think he can be the man and win a title. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think he has to –
He needs Tatum.
He can be the man on any – he could be the man on 20 teams probably right now.
I'm sorry. He's the Robin to Tatum. I think Brown's tremendous.
Yeah, I agree.
Tatum is better. And there's some people may disagree. Do you guys think – well, Jan just said he agrees. What do you think? You think Brown's better than Tatum, or who would you take?
I feel like Brown is more consistent than Tatum, I think, because Tatum has his days where he's just completely off, and I feel like the days where Brown is off, he's still a little bit on.
That's why I think you need them both. Don't break them up.
Yeah,
do not break up Tatum and Brown.
Well, we agreed last week with Dion. I did anyway that if it was for the Greek Freak, I would do it, but I'm not doing it for.
You know how health wise, he's.
Well, he wanted to play, I thought, though, and then the management wanted to keep him out for draft purposes.
Would you trade Brown for Giannis straight up?
Yeah,
you would.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
I'm still on the fence. I don't think I would.
5 years
Giannis
ago,
too, I
5 years ago, I probably would.
5 years ago, no doubt, I would.
But not now.
All right, so I'll tell you what. Why don't we call Melanie? Let's call Melanie, and we'll talk to Melanie Rivera, who's going to tell us about the game that Nick's son's going to be playing in June 2nd at Dodge Stadium. Willamette Goats against the Columbia Lebanon team.
Yes, the Columbia Lebanon Camping Beavers is their name.
Camping Beavers.
Yeah.
It's busy. I'll try again.
That's busy. We're having no luck with our guests.
Well, I wanted to make one more comment on the Greek Freak, though. I do think that Tatum and him would be more attractive to those secondary players like they had 3 years ago when they won the title coming in than Brown and Tatum are. You know what I mean? And I think that's part of what you got to consider, even if you think you'd rather have Brown.
Did help those young guys this year. He really did.
They seemed to.
And I think that's why they created a bond, and that's why he was saying it's my favorite year.
Yeah.
Because I think that team really clicked. And to be honest with you, there was a lot of people who thought that with Tatum being out, that I got almost an argument with someone, not a heated argument, going, oh, the Celtics are going to be, everyone called it a bridge year. I said, around Thanksgiving, I'm like, I don't know about that. I said, this team is playing a little above what they should be doing, above, beyond expectations.
Yeah, you and I were on the same page with that. We thought they were a playoff team, a 4 or 5 seed. People were saying miss the playoffs or squeak in. I never thought that, but again, I think he, he was kind of talking from the heart of how the season was his favorite, and if he had prefaced it with or said the regular season is my favorite regular season, I'm okay with it. But boy, after a loss, like how aren't you devastated? Although we want them to be devastated, and when it's their career, it's different. Remember what was that movie there with Drew Barrymore and Jimmy Fallon?
Oh, Fever Pitch.
And they saw the Red Sox players out after the Yankees had crushed them, and they were like, why are they having fun? Why are they drinking and laughing?
Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's what we see these days. Remember, Jan and I know we're a little older than you, Nick, but grew up in the Bird Magic era where they hated each other. Then they became buddies after. That's fine.
Yeah,
you want to go out and have beers after you retire? That's fantastic. I'm watching Winning Time again, which a lot of, with the Lakers dynasty. I read the book as well, and people may say the acting stinks. I think it's great because it shows
I like it.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
I think it was pretty good. I'm watching it for a second time, and but it just takes you back to when the players, the rivalries, they couldn't stand each other. The LA players would say, I'm not going to say it because I don't want Matt to hit the dump button. I'll say F Boston. That's all they said out there.
Sure.
F Boston.
There was a Jerry West special Netflix, I think. I don't know if you saw that, but that's pretty good too.
Really?
Yeah, I would say watch that. It's a lot about his, his basketball life and how he struggled because he never beat the Celtics, right? And then the year they won it,
that really affected Jerry West. He was like a psycho.
I believe he only got the one title when they had Wilt and that really, really great team, 72, maybe 71.
Yeah. He never beat the Celtics,
it wasn't the Celtics. Yeah, and it is how it was back then, and these guys seem just a little bit different now.
And now let's go back to current day, and there's Jaylen Brown, literally hours after he just got eliminated. He's jumping on a live stream talking about Embiid flopping, and I'm all right. No. You play. I want you to be pissed. I want you to be in the gym or no, go on vacation, then get back to work. I don't care. I don't want to see your face or like you're kicking back in a chair. And I know we live in a different time now.
It's a different time. It really is.
Oh my God, that drives me nuts. I know. I'm showing our age here, but I'm showing my age. But it's just like that drives me. Anyway, I guess we're having no luck with our guests, right?
Still busy. I'll keep trying, but.
Well,
right.
I was going to. Can we talk about Coventry baseball for a
Let's get
second?
a little Coventry
Just because I asked Johnny you a couple things, and I was actually kind of prepared. But so we know they're 13-1, but coming up they have Summers twice. It must have been a postponement, although they were postponed today.
Yep.
And they're 13-2. They then got Berlin, who's 11-4 and has won 6 in a row. Then Lyman, who's having a pretty good year, 500, and then they finish with a 500 team, but it's double L Woodstock Academy. So their next 5 games are all really big games, and even in the playoffs, they're in the NCCC, which is loaded, 13-2 teams all over the place, and then Class S is also loaded. So they're having a great year, but I was curious to see like what he was thinking about the upcoming tough schedule. And
Well, we might get him because he says, "Hey Keith," he just texted me, "Keith, I'm not sure I missed the call." I said, "Matt's been trying to call." Then I said, didn't give him a chance to answer. I said, "Coach, call 860-456-1400."
there he is.
So will you call us, Coach?
There he is.
We got him. So now, Jan, you'll be able to ask him here.
Yeah.
All right. So looking forward to another new friend of the show here. We're making
He was probably, this day and age with caller ID, was probably just ignoring the call with an unknown number.
I said, "Hey, Matt's trying to call." Here we go. Great job, J. Matt Rupard. First of all, hello, Coach. Is it Stanizzi?
It's Stanizzi, yes it is.
Stanizzi, okay, Stanizzi. Thank you so much. Sorry for the phone tag there. We had producer Matt trying to call you, and then I was able to text you the phone number. We got you on here, and
Glad to connect.
It's great to have you, Coach Stanizzi of the 13-1 Coventry baseball team. Keith C. Rice, the coach, Jan Koivisto for the Chronicle, Nick Erlinson here. We thank you for a few minutes. Before we get into it, just kind of curious, you had a game at Summers today. You said it was canceled. What's going on down there?
So it was postponed. So, with the rain yesterday, we kind of expected that we were going to have a problem getting the fields ready. This was actually a postponement. We postponed today from a previous game that we had on our schedule. So, their public works was unable with the pouring rain yesterday to get the field ready today. So we are postponed. We will play, right now tentatively week after next on, I think, the 27th, on Tuesday the 27th. So, we've been trying to get this game in, and unfortunately this week has been a bit of a struggle with the weather.
That's New England, April, May. It's that time of year. How many, off the top of your head, well, you probably already know. It's always tough trying to make up those games. How many makeups have you guys had to deal with this year?
Yeah, actually, we've been pretty fortunate. So we only have 2 makeups, and they both came this week. So, you contrast this with what we were like last year. During April break, we played 5 games in 6 days. And that was a struggle, and then the latter part of the season kind of went as planned. So this year, our first 14 games were as scheduled, and then this summer's game has been trying to get it in, and we had a Windsor-Locks game also that was pushed back to the final week. But I suppose that's why we leave that last week open, just for circumstances like this.
Coach Johnathan Stanizzi of the 13-1 Coventry baseball team joining us. We had Coach Laus on a few weeks ago. They're 15-1, and I was, Jan and Nick and myself, and I was talking with John too, our news guy this morning. Just so impressed with how all the programs over there at Coventry and just all the success you guys have there. But
remarkable.
Being 13-1, you definitely have those guys locked in.
Thank you. Appreciate that. They work really hard, and we've been fortunate to have, a returning group of seniors that has been playing together for a really long time, and I've had the good fortune to have spent a lot of time with them. So this class, I actually coached them in Little League, throughout Little League. Their all-star days and Williamsport days, and even in middle school. So through the JV level, and so we've been together for a long time, and great group of kids. They work really hard, and I'm really fortunate to be able to be still coaching them at this time.
So, Coach, just before we got you on, I was talking about, first of all, I think your whole schedule is pretty brutal. You play more than half of your games against M or larger schools, but coming up in your last few, Summers twice, Berlin, and always competitive Lyman, and then double L Woodstock Academy. What are you expecting to go on the end of the season here?
I'll be honest. I actually am grateful for the challenges ahead of us, because It's difficult. We've played really well. We've played good baseball. Our pitchers have been outstanding. We've been fortunate to back them up with a lot of runs. So I'm looking forward to the challenge, and I think we have goals, we have aspirations, and one of them is to make a deep run in the state championship. And I think we're looking forward to the challenges of the next week and a half to see where we stand. 13-1 is great. One of the things that we've been preaching is we just can't become complacent. And I think with this schedule, this challenging schedule, and exactly as you said, Summers twice, the 13-2 conference game. Lyman, should be a challenge. Woodstock is always, we always play Woodstock. It's a tough program. And then we also have Windsor Locks thrown in there. So I'm looking forward to, I think the difficulty will lie in not only the caliber of the competition, but also how we get our guys ready with 4 games next week, followed by 2 games, and then potentially the NCCC tournament, which is to be played on Thursday, that following Thursday.
So NCCC tournament, is that 4 teams make it?
It is. It's the top 4 teams, and so we are currently in the top 4 teams, but we still have some work to do to ensure that we get into that NCCC tournament, which we're looking forward to. Our guys are. That has been a goal of ours set early in the season. Is that obviously make it to the state tournament, but be one of the top 4 teams in NCCC, and then hopefully we play well enough to put ourselves in a position to win that. There are some good teams. We know Summers and Ellington having a good season. Suffield is having a remarkable season. We played them earlier in the season, which is our 1 loss. So I'm looking forward to that. And so it doesn't really get any easier from here for us.
Coach Stanizzi of the 13-1 Coventry baseball team joining us here on the Duncan Friday Sports Scene on 14 WILI and 95.3 FM. And, of course, I forgot to mention at the top of the show, you could always go back and watch it. Sometimes it's uploaded over the weekend, or you can watch it on Monday on the WILI Radio YouTube channel. Just search WILI Radio and subscribe for free. And, Coach Stanizzi, I'll be sure to text you the video link.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
After the show. So, give us a little rundown of your roster. Is it you got some experienced upperclassmen there, or a good mix?
Yeah. So we actually just had our senior night this Monday. We were able to the Eastern Connecticut State University has an amazing facility, right? As you know, so they were able to host our senior night. We have 5 seniors this year. All 5 members participated in the 2024 Class S state championship team. They were all rostered, and many played a huge role at that time. Kevin Johnson, our starting pitcher, was the winner of that game in 2024 as a sophomore. Dustin Menzel is the catcher behind the plate. We have Mather Spear, who is our senior shortstop. Kyle Hecht is our starting center fielder, and Jackson Senna has played first base and DH for us. So all great leaders, all with a lot of experience. And then we have what's great is that we have some really talented juniors that will join us back next year, and then we have some sophomores who are really we've had to lean on this year to play in big moments, and they've done a great job, as evident by our record.
I know you don't want to look too far ahead, but I was also looking at Class S, and man, that is top-heavy loaded too. Cromwell, St. Paul, East Catholic, Summers. What are you thinking about that? And you actually could potentially face Summers 4 times in the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Agreed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we talked about that last year, and as it were, we as the bracket projected forward, we were. Not to say, again, we're not trying to look forward, but last year the bracket projected us to potentially play Summers in the state tournament last year, and that didn't end up happening. That didn't come to fruition. But, it is. I think that there are a lot of really talented schools, and so one of the things that we've just kind of talked about, especially with having to be flexible, is that, we just have to look at the next game in front of us. And so I would like to hope that we can compete in the next 6 games, finish strong as we have in the early going, and then look to where we fall in the state tournament. One of our goals is to potentially host the first 3 games, so we get obviously again you got to win to stay on, and we're set not from running away from any challenges, and so again really great competitive teams in Class S, including in NCCC, and I'm looking forward to this run, this late season run.
Before we let you go, how many years have you been coaching Coventry baseball now?
So this is my second year as the head coach of the varsity team. Ryan Giverson, was the head coach for a really long time, amazing coach. And so I was the JV coach for a couple of years prior to that under his tutelage, and then was the middle school coach with this group when they were in middle school. So a long-time coach, but, started at the Little League level and then worked my way through middle school and then the JV coach and now the varsity coach for the last couple of years.
Well, again, I keep saying we're going to let you go, but now I got another personal question. Are you from the area, by the way?
I am. I actually live in Coventry. Yep.
So do you?
Born and raised in Manchester, and now currently raising my family in Coventry.
Well, it sounds like you're very happy because you're having much success there. That's awesome. But do you want to take this coaching? You want to take this coaching thing further someday, or what? I got to know.
Yeah, I mean, I try to take it one day at a time. But if I'm fortunate to continue to coach anywhere, I'm grateful.
It was great to finally get you on. I'm glad you texted me. I'm sorry I didn't get back to you. And then, we were able to squeeze you in here. And thanks for texting me back. And you and Coach Laus are doing a wonderful job over there. And let's get you on here again soon. Probably around as you get into the playoffs too.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate the call and reaching out and giving us an opportunity to chat.
All right, thank you, Coach Stanizzi.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Coach
Have
Johnathan Stanizzi of the Coventry baseball team. And boy, all they do is win in Coventry. It doesn't matter if it's volleyball, basketball, baseball. Or missing any other program?
All they do is win, win, win.
Unbelievable. Well, you know why? Because their team name is the Patriots. That's why they win all the time.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
boy.
You like that one, huh? All right. Nick, I thought come on, Nick, you're the one line. You give me credit for that one, Nick.
That was pretty good.
All right, we got to take a break. Again, thanks to Coach Stanizzi. On the other side, do we have to talk Red Sox? Yeah, we do. We're a Red Sox station. You never know. They may turn the corner.
Well, we just talked to a winner. Now we'll talk about some losing team.
Yeah, Christian Arcand of the Red Sox Radio Network will join us on the other side. Still lots to get to. We're glad you're here on a Friday. It's the Duncan Friday Sports Scene with Keith, Koivisto, and Erlinson on WILI.
This is the Duncan Friday Sports Scene on 14 WILI and 95.3 FM.
Well, I still can't believe Ian Eagle's a part of our show. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I got to be careful. He's going to steal my job.
Now we got to get a liner from his son Noah. I got to reach out to Noah. Who's like, talk about a prodigy. Oh my God, he was doing I think it was right out of college. He was doing LA Clipper games on the radio. Imagine that. I think his first job right out of college was LA Clippers radio.
Do you think his dad helped him get that?
No, absolutely not. And I heard Ian, not to digress, Ian told a story about, and Noah really didn't want to do what his father was doing. Really? He just, and then he went to Syracuse. He wasn't even going to study that. The way Ian told it was much better. And then he just fell in love with it and almost didn't want to use the last name Eagle. And Ian goes, well, you're not proud of your last name?
Well, you've been there, kind of, right?
I went through a period where you had to bring that
on your own. Well, if you want to make it on your own, though, that's okay, I think.
I felt the need when I left Connecticut. I got to change my name to be cool. Let's go with Brian Jordan. So I did that.
Yeah. Although Keith C. Rice is better than Brian Jordan.
What was I thinking back then? You know, Brian with a Y, by the way.
No, I didn't know that.
He retired, Brian Jordan. Anyway, all right. Duncan Friday Sports Scene on WILI. And do we have him, J. Matt Rupar? All right. We got a guy here on WILI mostly every night, weeknights. Christian Arcand from the WEEI Red Sox Radio Network joining us. Keith C. Rice, got Nick Erlinson, Jan Koivisto, Duncan Friday Sports Scene. Christian, thank you for a few minutes to talk about the Red Sox and the offensive woes. Thanks for a few minutes, buddy.
Gee, it's great to be on with you. I wish I had better things to talk about. This team has been absolutely crushing me every night. I do the pregame show, but I also do postgame and Red Sox review. And, I get a lot of calls from Connecticut. I get calls from all over the place. People are despondent about this team right now.
Yeah, it's. I guess you start with the offense. The pitching actually hasn't been that bad. Early's going tonight, and it's just great. Just when you think, they should have took 2 out of 3 against the Phillies, although the Phillies are playing slightly better. You got Kyle Schwarber coming back to Fenway, who should still be in a Red Sox uniform, but we won't go there. And then, the Atlanta Braves playing without, I think Acuna's still out of the lineup, but they're a freaking wagon right now, 30-14. So go figure. Watch the Red Sox go down there and take 2 out of 3 because you just can't figure them out. Where does it start with the offense? I know a place we could start. They should have got another bat, right, Christian?
Yeah, 100%. 100% they should have. They should have tried harder to bring back Alex Bregman. I think that there was maybe some disconnect there with Bregman and Alex Cora, and the fact that Craig Breslow and Alex Cora seemed to be kind of on a collision course. And, there was easy ways enough to bring Bregman back if that's what they wanted to do. There was an easy enough way to get Pete Alonso here if that's what you wanted to do. You could have outbid the Baltimore Orioles. They didn't make an offer for Kyle Schwarber. They brought in Contreras, and they brought in Durbin, who is not hitting at a major league level right now. And it just, it all sort of goes back to that. I think that there are ways in which this team wants to operate and ways in which they think they can still get away with it. And I just don't think that that's really working for them anymore from an ownership level, from a front office level. It just seems like they really want it both ways. They want the success and the excitement and, Fenway banged out and all that, but they're just very unwilling to go outside of their comfort zone and, make the Red Sox a bigger number on the ledger than they need to be. And it's as simple as that. I hate to put it in those terms because that does kind of oversimplify it, but Keith, that's what we're seeing right now. That's what the season is so far.
You mentioned ownership, but I gotta bring that up because as a longtime Red Sox fan, this drives me absolutely nuts. When you go to when the current ownership took over, it seemed like they cared, and it seems like they don't care right now. Obviously, we heard the stories about the planes flying over Fenway, sell the team. Why do you think they're not spending money? I know there's a pending work stoppage that's looming, but does that have something to do with it? Why does it seem like they don't care today, as opposed to 2003 or whatever?
Well, I think there's a lot of different reasons for that. The main one was, Keith, you remember back then, the Yankees were outspending everybody. They were getting whoever they wanted. They were outspending the entire league to get all these different players, Giambi and Sheffield and Clemens and Raul Mondesi. You remember those days. Yeah. It was not a lot of fun if you were a Red Sox fan back then because you knew any player you wanted them to get, they weren't going to get it. Manny Ramirez kind of changed that in 2001, and then the new owners came in, and that all sort of became a new thing as the Red Sox got more competitive with it. And listen, to say that they don't spend it all is not true. There are owners out there that don't spend it all. The Rockies, the Pirates, there's teams that legitimately don't spend it all on their team, and it's a crime that they do that. The Red Sox do spend, but you're right in the sense that when it comes to the elite hitters, the guys that you have to pay a little extra for into their later years, they've drawn a line in the sand when it comes to that, and they rarely ever deviate from it. One of the few deviations they had was Ranger Suarez, who was great again last night. Yep. They wasted another great start. This pitching staff, they're pitching their ass off, and meanwhile they can't score any runs. And so, Suarez is a guy that they pivoted to after they whiffed on Bregman, and they put the money towards that. So, there is money to be spent out there. It's just you have to question the way in which they're doing it. I think you also have to question why they are so stringent on putting these parameters in, which are clearly have them coming up short in a lot of these free agent races that they're in.
To stay on the offense for a second, Christian, this is the worst offense of my lifetime, and I'm 59 years old. I looked it up, and the only year they've been under 600 runs in a non-strike year was the 92 team at 599, and they're right about at 600 pace right now. So my question is, we can blame the owners a little bit. We can blame Cora, and they got a new manager, but there are still guys underperforming. Why are they underperforming so much?
That's a great question. I think that for Trevor Story and Jarren Duran and, even a guy like Durbin, his first year here on this new team, he was in the Rookie of the Year voting last year, third in Rookie of the Year, whatever it is. Those are guys who, you look at it and you look at what they've done in the past and, sort of what you expect. And at a quarter of the way through the season for all of them to be struggling this much is just, it's brutal. It's a 30-year lineup right there. And those are guys that are barely, most of them under the Mendoza line. You can't have an offense with that. And I wonder just sort of what the next move even is, because they didn't go out and get these extra bats. They didn't go out and sort of shore up at those positions. The guys they did roll the dice on, for the most part, are coming up short. Wilson Contreras has been pretty good. I'll give him that one at least. But Durbin has been brutal. Duran's regression has been just, at the top of your lineup. That guy's killing you. And, for Trevor Story, he got off to a slow start last year, but this is not a team that you can afford to have that many guys getting off to a start like this. You just can't. You're drowning right now in the American League. I think some of these guys, they have to start playing closer to their baseball card numbers. That's what I keep hearing in the pregame show, and I asked Will Fleming about it. You know, these guys, they have a resume here in this league. You know, they've done things in this league. They should be snapping out of this any minute now, and we're all still sitting here in the middle of May waiting for it. I mean, it's brutal. So I don't know what the next move is. There's some guys in the minor leagues area, some Double-A, that kind of like Nicky Gasper, got some hits while he's up here. Everybody likes Andrew Monasterio, but you can't really expect a team full of those guys to take anywhere. So I don't know. They're kind of up against it right now with a manager who's very inexperienced. So it could really go either way.
Yeah, I just want to, I know Nick's got a question, but I want to jump in real quick about Chad Tracy. What's your vibe on Chad Tracy? I mean, do they hang on him, or is he going to be replaced in the next month or so? You know, what do you do if you're management there? I mean, the team's really kind of just floundering. Do you hold on to Chad Tracy? What do you do?
So me personally, I would, because Chad Tracy's so familiar with so many of these young players, with the Roman Anthony's and Marcelo Myers and Rafaelas and Hurleys and Toleys and all those guys. Like, they all know Chad Tracy really well. He knows them very well. They all seem to have a strong relationship. And I think that that's valuable in a season like this where it doesn't really seem like it's going anywhere. I would stick with him personally. I don't know necessarily what Craig Breslow wants to do. I feel like Craig Breslow had his last line of defense stripped away with Cora and all those, you know, offensive coaches that got fired. He was the big catalyst for that happening. But that also now, okay, you can't blame the manager anymore. Now it's on you here. And I wonder how to that, how he's going to react instead of being on the hot seat. Will he go into the trade market and try and make a big splashy move to save his job? Is he going to, you know, fire Chad Tracy and bring in, I don't know, Joe Madden or some big name that, you know, people recognize and can set these guys straight? Like, I wouldn't go that way personally, but I do wonder how much of the heat Craig Breslow is going to feel, and if that's going to sort of persuade him to behave differently, because so far he's been very by the book. He hasn't gone crazy at any of the trade deadlines. He's been pretty, you know, buttoned up. He did have a good offseason last year with Chapman and Crochet and Bregman and all those guys. This past one so far doesn't look too good, aside from some of the starting pitching they brought in. So, for me personally, I would stick with Tracy. I think that his relationship with the young players is valuable enough to want to keep him here now, since that's what I think this season should be about, is, you know, developing these young guys and hopefully them being something more than this next year and in the future. But, you know, I can't tell. Breslow's kind of a wild card, so he may want to go and make a big splashy managerial move or something like that. But personally, I wouldn't. I'd stick with Tracy.
You mentioned the struggles of Jarren Duran, and I've been reading rumors of potential trades, like for Mike Trout and people like that. Do you feel? Have you heard any of these rumors, or do you feel like if Duran is traded, do you feel they should go for bats or pitching?
Absolutely, they should go for bats no matter what. And Jarren Duran, I mean, listen, Jarren Duran, I think, is a guy who 2 years ago I thought was on a fast track to being one of the top outfielders in the majors. Major fall off last year, and just, you know, bottom of the barrel this year. I hate to put it in those terms. He's also a bit of a hothead. He's had, you know, a couple more incidents with fans in different ballparks, which I'm not saying he made any of that stuff up, but I am saying that he has, you know, rabbit ears and definitely, you know, is the hothead and kind of snaps on people and causes these problems for the teams that he's on. And I just don't know how much value he has right now. I don't know, like the Angels or any of these teams. You had a window where I think that Duran still has some legitimate value out there, and I think that Breslow and the Red Sox decided to hold their cards a little too close to the vest. His value is diminished, and now if you want a guy like Trout, you're going to have to go into your minor league system. The Angels don't want Jarren Duran. What do they want with him?
Yeah.
You know, they don't need a guy like that. You need to make the money work, first of all, or some semblance of that, unless you want to take it all on yourself, which, again, you know, the Red Sox may be cornered into a position like that. But for a guy like Trout, they want to trade for Trout. I'm all for that. I think a bat in the middle of this lineup, a right-handed power bat. I know Trout's hurt all the time, but if he plays, that'll sell some tickets, it'll sell some jerseys, and might actually bring some excitement to Fenway Park. Fenway Park was so dead this past week. Oh, it was sad being there. I mean, really, the Philly fans took over. The Tampa Bay fans took over. It's a sad state at Fenway right now.
Well, there's never a rally. You need a rally.
Unbelievable.
The pitching's been awesome, really. I mean, they're probably fifth or sixth now in pitching, but that's just because the start was bad. Every night it seems they're throwing a good start out there, and there's never a rally.
Yeah, you're right. They've won one game this year in which they've trailed by 2 or more runs. One. And, you know, you hardly even remember that one. the last time they scored any runs was when they teed off on Framber Valdez because the Tigers were saying that they knew the grip or they knew what pitches were coming or whatever. And all I can say to that is, we'll keep doing that. Go back to doing that again. Do something.
Christian Arcand joining us for about another minute or two on the Duncan Friday Sports Scene here on 14 WILI 95.3 FM and the WILI Radio YouTube channel. So here we are, May 15th, and we mentioned the bullseye is on Breslow right now. Let's go back to Trout for a second. Would you make the deal for Trout? Would you dig into the farm system? I think Breslow's got to do something. As we just talked about, the fans are really turned off by this team right now. Do you see a splash coming, let's say, between now and Memorial Day?
Frankly, no, I don't. Just because this Red Sox team doesn't even make moves like that when they're good. So, I'm not sure that I anticipate them doing it when they suck, which they do right now. Like, when they were good last year, I thought, okay, perfect. You come into the trade deadline, you got all this, minor league. You got guys you can move, you got moves you can make, and they end up with Dustin May and Steven Matz. It's like, that was it. And I thought May would be a little better than he was, but not much better. And he was terrible. Matz gave you a little something, but he didn't do much, and you didn't get a bat, and the offense completely fell off the face of the earth in September and in that wild card round. So, if they're not gonna go out there and make big deals like that at the deadline when they're good and competing, I have a hard time picturing it happening right now. Again, I'll go back to this. The only way I could see that happening is Craig Breslow growing increasingly desperate and deciding, hey, I got to do something here to save my job. And that's really what it is.
Well, that's even if Breslow's allowed to make those moves. We still don't know if anybody above Breslow is calling the shots. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you might be right. I mean, the money for Trout is astronomical, and John Henry may just say, you know what, guys, I like Mike Trout, we all do, but what the hell are we going to pay him all this money for if we're not going to make the playoffs this year? And it may just be as simple as that. I'd like to see something. I'd like to see some kind of shot in the arm for this team. Professionally, that helps me. I mean, those ratings still count, but it doesn't seem like that would be a big break from the way this team usually operates. Yeah. Like a massive split from what they usually do. I'd love to see it, but I'm not betting the farm on it. That's for sure.
Well, I'm almost wondering if maybe they get through May and they end up going the other way, and they get calls for Chapman, and they just start moving those guys.
Jeez, we're already talking about that. I think Breslow reminds me of a Bloom 2.0 in a way. I'll say this: they should have never got rid of Dave Dombrowski. Does everyone agree with that?
Yes.
You should have never got rid of Dombrowski. And then you got GM after GM. Anybody who interviews for this gig doesn't want it because they're going to get canned in like 3 years. They've ruined the product.
He's getting a little worked up on the Sox.
They've ruined the product.
They don't deserve to get you worked up though.
Anyway, all right, Christian, thank you for a few minutes. We know you're busy. We're going to catch you at 6:15 tonight before Red Sox Braves here on the Red Sox Radio Network.
Yes, I'll be on with the Mass Mutual pregame show. And before I leave, Keith, can you pick up this station in Winstead in Torrington?
WILI, no, you can't. Well, you have family in Connecticut?
I do, yes. My mother grew up in Winstead, and we used to go there every year for all the holidays and all that stuff. And I know that part of Connecticut very well.
Beautiful area.
Lovely part of the state. That's, the Northwest Hills, I think, right?
Yeah, out there, yeah.
Very good. Yeah, I knew you had some ties in Connecticut. We got to catch up one of these days. I know Christian
Absolutely.
and I are connected through Instagram and Facebook, but he's been part of the Boston radio market for quite some time. He does a phenomenal job. So thank you, Christian. Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks, Keith. Thanks for having me, guys.
Awesome job, Christian.
All right. Christian Arcand on the Red Sox Radio Network. Again, he'll be kicking off the pregame show at 6:15 the night before Sox and Braves on WILI. It's 3:53. We're gonna try and get Melanie Rivera to talk about.
She's good. I texted her.
Oh, she's good. Okay, I'm sorry because I know
she's
Matt
been waiting. I had the wrong number.
You had the wrong number.
Yeah, it was sent. The wrong number was sent to me, so it's not my fault.
All right. So
we talk to these Red Sox guys, and it seems like they're getting more and more depressed as weeks go on.
It
Like
is.
Lou last 3 weeks ago seemed a little bit optimistic.
Lou's pretty. Yeah, you're right. Lou is a little optimistic.
But it's getting worse and worse, and you can tell they're like he's talking about doing the games, and there's no interest. That's terrible.
But you start to wonder, do they care? Do they look? I'm not gonna look. I'll never root for the Yankees, but I will say this: that's an organization organization that cares about winning every year. They try and put a good product on the field.
Well,
now they're not spending a lot like the Red Sox. The Yankees aren't even spending.
I
that
wonder
much
why
these
they
days.
keep their manager if they really care about winning, because I think he's one of the worst in baseball.
well,
though. But I guess they do spend.
They win
on
90
the
plus
players.
games every year.
I know, but then they seem to choke every year.
Not true.
I mean, the Yankees are measured by World Series titles, not with making
Yeah,
the playoffs.
the Red Sox have had more this decade or this century than the Yankees. But anyway, all right, we have Melanie Rivera.
Yeah.
Hi,
here.
Melanie. It's Keith, and you're going to be back in the studio. Well, you're on the phone, obviously, now. But you and Caitlin are going to be here doing Hometown Threads in a couple weeks.
Hey, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Talking about the Wyndham Softball League, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And you guys, just real quick, we're going to get to the June 2nd thing at Dodge Stadium, which involves Nick's son and the Senior League game there. But give everyone a quick rundown of the Softball League. And we'll give that a quick plug. And the games are at Rec Park, right?
Yeah, Rec Park, Mondays and Wednesdays. First games usually start around 6:15. Last games are around 8:45. The women's teams, all teams look great out there. But you got to come check out Team Duncan.
This is the Duncan Friday Sports Scene. You're our favorite team. So,
oh, you know it.
I'm drinking a Dunkin' latte right now, but we got to say something. Melanie's a heck of a player, too, but Melanie isn't playing this year because, well, what happened? What's your injury?
Yeah, last year I tore my ACL meniscus playing softball. I was subbing in, actually. I wasn't even in the game, but I ran for one of our girls and heard a pop, and it was over from there. Anthony and I are actually coaching the women's team alongside CUO and Jack Risley. So
Jack Risley, too. Okay.
Yeah, we're excited to take it all this year. You know it. Come see us. Come watch us.
Definitely. And the games are, what'd you say, Monday and Wednesday? Is that what you said?
Yep, Mondays and Wednesdays. First games usually start around 6:15. Last game starts at 8:45.
Rec Park, great place to watch softball, baseball, or softball. Now, we have you on here in the last few minutes, and thanks for coming on and talk about the game June 2nd at Dodge Stadium. It's a Senior League game between the Willimantic Elks and the Camping Beavers. Is that right, Nick, of Columbia, Lebanon?
Yes.
Okay, so Nick's son is in this game, and it's Coach Anthony Pisano. He's coaching the Willimantic team, right?
Yes.
That's right, alongside with me.
That's right, Mel. So tell us about what
Travis.
And Travis,
of course, too. Yeah.
So tell us about what we can expect June 2nd at Dodge Stadium.
Well, June 2nd, around 5:30 p.m. You know, our first game, we ended up playing Columbia, Lebanon, and losing 9-3. And you know, after that game, the boys kind of locked in. We worked on steal signs. We worked on bunting. And Anthony had a great idea about hosting this game at Dodge Stadium, and we posted it on Facebook, and the community reached out in the most amazing way. We did a GoFundMe account and raised the money in about 6 hours. So our next game we played Columbia, Lebanon. We ended up beating them 2-0. So that June 2nd game will be our tiebreaker. So we need everybody to come out there. 'Cause I got some players thinking that our coaches are doing too much and that they're not going to have any fans. But on June 2nd, I need that stadium full because these boys are working so hard.
So this is like a Game 7 winner take all sort of deal.
You know it.
Wow. Now Nick, your son is on Willimantic, right?
My son is on the Columbia
Lebanon.
Columbia team, yeah. Maverick, number 12, is he's usually outfield, but he's on that team, and yeah, it'll be good. I also coached one of the kids on the Willimantic team in basketball years ago, and
so you got ties on both teams.
So there's some great kids on both teams, and it'll be a lot of fun because I think both teams have a lot of fun playing, and I think
absolutely,
you know, it's just awesome to watch the kids play. It's one of the I enjoy it more than watching the majors or anything, especially if I have to watch the Red Sox.
Exactly.
So, Coach, the kids are going to be a little overwhelmed, I think, being at that Dodge Stadium. What are you guys going to do to calm them down a little bit and get them ready for that game?
Hey, my goal this year for the boys were to work on resetting. So that's my goal throughout the season up until we get to that June 2nd game. So I'll be coaching first base, making sure that they pick their heads up after any mistake or any error, and just have fun.
Coach Rivera rehabbing that injury by doing a little coaching this year, and she'll be back on the field. You'll be back on the field next year, right?
Next year, yeah, 9 to 12 months recovery, but I'll be back out there. I've been practicing. I got the all clear.
Take it easy in that first base coaching box there. You know, you're rehabbing an injury here, so.
Hey, I wore my cleats. I'll be all right.
All right, so June 2nd, get on out there. It's what, free? Is it?
It's free admission.
Free admission.
Free event,
and
yeah.
What time's the game again?
5:30 start.
5:30. Willimantic Elks and the Columbia Lebanon Camping Beavers featuring Maverick Erlinson.
Yep.
Does he go by Maverick Erlinson? That's a great name, Maverick Erlinson.
Man.
Yeah, last year the kids were calling him Top Gun.
Top Gun! Oh, I love it.
But I think he's sick of hearing it.
Yeah, but now we got to queue up Take My Breath Away. Okay, Melanie, thank you so much. Thank you, Coach Rivera.
You're very welcome.
And we'll see you with
Thanks,
Caitlin in
Melanie.
here June 1st for Hometown Threads.
Yeah, we'll be there. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
She was awesome. She
Yeah,
was
good
awesome.
job, Nick. Way to set that up.
30 seconds.
June 2nd at Dodge Stadium. Go down there and check that out. That should be a fun game, especially if it's like a tiebreaker, you know? So
Yeah, I got some flyers designed. I'm gonna print up and try to hand out and put up and
Yeah,
give to people and stuff.
definitely.
I'd like to see the place packed.
all right, thank you, Jan. Thank you, Nick. Thanks to Coach
Thank you.
Stanizzi, Christian Arcand, Melanie Rivera, Coach Rivera, and J. Matt Rupar. Homegrown is coming up next. Thank you for listening. And don't forget, you can watch it on the WILI Radio YouTube channel. Subscribe for free. Enjoy the weekend and the nice weather. It's going to be warm. 14 WILI Willimantic and 95.3 FM.